Hello, hello. I'm the official name raider. My job is. God, I can't fucking look at that and not get mad. My job is to scroll down so I don't have to stare at that, review the nicknames provided by the internet, give my recommendations, and critique things, and that literally screwed up my intro. But today, we're going to look at nickname suggestions and ideas for Trapinch, Vibrava, and Flygon. And for the love of God, why is the first thing we say naming your Meowth cat? Okay, so, not all of these are terrible. Dragonfly is fucking terrible. Again, naming your Meowth cat. You just don't do that unless you want to be bullied and have your lunch money stolen. Like, you just don't do it. Dust Devil, I'm pretty sure I've talked about before. I want to say it was like Dustox, and I was like, yeah, I went with it because, I thought maybe if I cut myself I'd feel something, and it's still not particularly a great nickname, but it's there if you care for it. Sandstorm's crap. Sahara I am 100% fine with. I want to say I've seen this mostly for like Cacturn, and I think I even had it as a placeholder nickname for Cacturn. That's fine. I disagree with his description that it has to be a female. Suck a dick. If you want to name a male Cacturn or Flygon Sahara, go for it. Sandra is just some ordinary bitch, no one cares. Quicksand I actually really like. And here's what I think is funny, is this, he actually gives credit. When you click on the link, it just says page not found, so I don't really have any... I don't get to see what it was about, who it was, but I actually really like that name and would recommend that for any sort of fast ground type you could put on. Dugtrio comes to mind, but I don't think I'd use it for Dugtrio because I don't think Dugtrio is associated too much with sand. But I like the idea a lot. Melody, which is... You don't have a girlfriend. Don't pretend you got a girlfriend. You know damn well you just named it because of the fucking Pokedex and you just wanted to sound not pathetically lonely. Melody's just any other bitch, just like Sandra. I wouldn't recommend as a nickname. It's just boring people names. Alright, well, based on the date, this very well could be the very same one I went with, but Mirage is what I personally use. I just think it's a good sounding name. It's simple, not too much to it. I think it works. You could put it on like a few desert Pokemon if you wanted to, but I don't know. This I just saw and I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that, and I've stuck with it ever since. Lanayru I really like as well. The Lanayru region, Skyward Sword... I don't remember what the fuck it looked like in Twilight Princess. Was it a desert in Twilight Princess too? Because I don't think it exists. No. Lanayru was the Zora one, wasn't it? Yeah, with Lake Hylia. Whatever. Skyward Sword onward, they decided Lanayru was the desert region. But it's not in fucking Breath of the Wild. They need to get their geography right. Regardless, I'm okay with it as a nickname, and at that point, Skyward Sword was like the most recent one. Enough talking, Lanayru's good. Toph, we talk about Avatar every now and again, and I feel like most of the Avatar-based names are very open-ended to where you could put it onto whoever. Just in my opinion, I think if there was some sort of ground in fighting, which I don't think exists at this point, you guys correct me on that. If they ever did something that resembled Toph better, I would be all about that. But I mean, in other words, you could just throw it onto whoever you want for the time being. And then Flygon Jin, this is the one I've seen like 1,000 times. It's not a bad nickname. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's bad. But just know that you're going to be seeing this quite a few times. Like, it's cute, clever, Qui-Gon Jinn, Flygon, yeah. It's fine. It's just very popular. Cairo, I'm fine with location-based nicknames. Not too much extra to say about it. It should be self-explanatory. So I'm half and half on this name. On one hand, I like it and I think it's super cool. But on the other hand, I'm fixated a lot on the literal part of eagle, and that's where I'm like, ooh. But I don't think there's ever going to be anything else that's going to literally resemble it. But I'm interested in the idea of it as a nickname. I think that's cool. We've seen Marty McFly a few times in the past. It usually gets a smile out of me just because I think it's cheesy but funny. So that's one you could throw onto quite a few Pokemon. If you wanted to and you think it fits Flygon, sure, whatever. Maleficent, we've seen in the past, usually associated with dragon Pokemon. If you want to, you think it's a good idea, sure. Maleficent was black dragon thing, so maybe just other ways of influencing you. But in other words, it's fine as a nickname. Sandman, we use this one for Hypno because, bring me a dream. But if you wanted to also just take a different direction and think more literal Sandman, you know, that's also an idea, but I don't know. I like it on Hypno better. I wouldn't change it, but it's an option for you if you got something on Hypno already you don't want to switch it for. The word famous is really what tripped me up. After just looking at this, I assumed it was a Star Wars thing. Like what? I think Naboo is the one that they start on, where Luke and all of them are. And this is actually some video game I've never heard of called like Homeworld. Again, I'm finding the idea of video game based nicknames if you can pull it off and it actually works. But also just bringing on the subject of, let's say, fictional planets, like in most space-based media. If you can find one that you think is a good idea and works, there's another cool idea for a nickname for you. I guess it's only fair to acknowledge Oasis as well. It can kind of follow the same wavelengths of like Mirage or Sahara or something like that. So if that strikes your fancy, sure. Also, its wings can play Wonderwall. I'll acknowledge Aragon if it strikes your fancy. We talked about Maleficent, it's only fair. Another fictional dragon for you if it appeals to you. Toothless, there's another fictional dragon for you. I'd also like to thank the comments for teaching me that Toothless is how to train your dragon. I still get comments sometimes telling me what it is, as if they couldn't scroll down and see the rest of them. Sparks the Dragonfly. You could totally use that. I don't remember if we saw Sparks in a previous thing or not. I feel like we might have seen Spyro. Or maybe we saw Sparks for Illumise. Or Volbeat or something like that. That sounds about right. But yeah, Sparks the Flygon if you wanted to. That's also acceptable. I guess if you wanted to do Reptar, that's also acceptable. I used Tyranitar for that one, and I feel like we've seen it on other Pokemon, or it was suggested for other Pokemon. Again, if you want to, it's fine. Big, green. Reptar doesn't have wings, though. I kind of want to just acknowledge these two together because, like, on their own, they're okay nicknames, but it's also very strange and, like, maybe not the best for Flygon. So, like, Starscream, we've seen that for Skarmory before, that's fine. Braveheart, which I'm totally fine with as a nickname. I don't know who it would fit, but if you wanted to, like, go for that. And then Buzz Lightyear. Green and wings, I guess, is about where it ends. I'm not sure, but okay. Does Buzz Lightyear even fit? That wouldn't even fit. Fuck you. Okay, we've reached the bottom. I think we saw quite a bit of things that were decent. Yet again, kind of like the last episode, where the only bad stuff was just this idiot. Was that the last episode? I hope it was, just for the sake of my own memory. I don't have much of it left. Checking spreadsheet for last minute ideas. I saw goggles like 1,000 times. I get it. It's where it's the little red bit over its eyes. That's great. I didn't think that was interesting at all. Like, the closest thing I could think of that made it even like the smallest bit redeeming was Banjo-Kazooie. The mole's name is Bottles, and one of his kids' his name is Goggles. I was like, oh, kind of like that. But even still, I wouldn't use that because it's a terrible name. And I don't really have much to say on Monster Kid. I don't remember that part of Undertale, so whatever. So, let me scroll down so I don't have to look at that. I would say again, Flygon Gin is one of the most popular, even though I actually didn't see it all that much. I remember seeing it a lot of times in previous episodes. It was honestly probably because that last link being the Slowpoke thing, maybe. Lenabru I really liked. Mirage, Sahara, Oasis, those are fine. And then one I didn't see, but I wrote down, this was from a previous episode, was Libra, astrological sign. I thought that was a cool idea because, again, I like the idea. I wish they did this, like they pushed it further with the constellation thing instead of just leaving it at Tauros and Tauros alone, because I just think it'd be cool if they fucking bothered. They could have done like one a generation and I would have been happy, but it's been 20 years and they haven't done shit. So it's whatever. Whatever ideas and suggestions you have for Flygon, or whatever you've used in the past, provide in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones that you think are good, and for the love of God, don't name it Dragonfly, please. I even said please.